What if I told you that the key to becoming a profitable trader is actually becoming a confident one? And this is something that I see so many people struggling with, also my students. When they come to me and say, Jody, I'm just not confident in my strategy, I'm just not confident in my trades. And this is exactly what I will fix today. So I've been a trader for the last 8 years and I've had my fair share of unconfident moments. Now everything changed for me when I started to realize, okay, being confident in my trading, in my positions is actually the key that I was always looking for. And now I'm at a point where I've coached hundreds of traders and I've seen this reoccurring pattern. People that lack confidence are the people that are also unprofitable. So first of all, you need to have a routine. A routine can be very broad, of course, but you need to have specifically a morning routine, a pre-market routine, and a post-market routine. Now, these three are the most important things that you can do as a trader. And why is that? Because a human being, not only a trader, but a human being is only as good as his or her systems. So if you have a good routine, if you know what you're doing every morning, if you know what you're doing before the markets, if you know what you're doing after the market, and if they're all, of course, beneficial towards the goal that you want to achieve, which is becoming profitable, which is becoming confident in trading, you will 100% guaranteed make money. Now, what I see a lot of people do and what I see a lot of traders are, is they are lazy. They rather lay in bed, right? And then all of a sudden, oh, the alarm clock is going, right? I don't know who's waking up at 3, but the alarm clock is going. And they have to get out of bed because they have to trade, right? Now, if this is my competition, then who do you think is gonna win? So this is a lazy trader, exhibit A, and this is the dedicated trader, right? The dedicated trader has all the 3 routines in place. So lazy trader wakes up, hops onto the charts, and the dedicated trader, when it is 3, for example's sake, he is already behind his laptop and he's already done with his analysis, okay? Now, who do you think is gonna win? Obviously, the one that is coming prepared, the one that is dedicated. Another good mental shift for you guys is don't go straight from this to this in your pajamas, in your sweatpants. Some people can make it work, don't get me wrong. But what you want to do for having a real mental shift is also get into your big boy pants, right? Get into some nice clothes that you would wear to work, and then go to your screen, okay? With having nice clothes on and not just sweatpants or pajamas. What this will allow you to do is to take it more seriously, okay? Because the way you dress is very often representing what you think of yourself and also how you feel, combination of both. And if you dress professionally every single morning, every single time you go to the charts, you will also start treating the charts a lot more professionally. Now, second, you have the pre-market routine. Again, we have trader A, the lazy trader, and we have trader B, the dedicated trader. Now, trader A goes straight into the charts. Again, without doing anything, bam, he takes a position long and he gets stopped out. All right, I hope you can see that these are candles and this is a position. Then trader B, he is literally waiting for price to hit this area because he already marked it out, and then he takes a long. Again, he will be a lot more prepared. Same thing with post-market. Trader A is not analyzing anything. Trader B is analyzing everything to the T. Now, obviously, routine is already going to be a very big building block to us becoming a confident trader. Because if you have the right routines in place, you have something to fall back to, right? You have something to fall back to so that you know, okay, even if it is not going that well, I always will have this routine in place to make sure I follow along the road that I need to follow, that I don't fall back into any bad habits, or that I don't fall back not knowing what to do. Now, secondly, you need to have the data. Now, what's this going to allow you to do? Is again going to give you something to fall back to. If you're not performing that well, you can go back to your data and you can see, okay, it is just temporary. If you're performing very well, you can go back to your data and see, okay, this is why I'm performing very well. Now, if you have data, you have exactly everything that you need to know where to improve on or where to double down on. And this alone will again provide you massive confidence, because you will gain real confidence when you have something that is measurable. And if those measurements are proving to you that you have nothing to worry about, because that's what confidence is. You will only gain confidence on something that is proven, something that has been done before. Now, how do you collect data? By backtesting. By the way, best software for this, FX Replay, hands down. link in the description. The reason why it's the best backtesting software is that it has a very good data collection system, okay, where you can see literally everything. Then the next one is demo or live trading. I'm gonna categorize this as the same as it is taking live positions, right? Demo or live is just the difference between real money or fake money. Again, you could also collect different data on that because you will 100% trade differently when you're trading live versus demo. Once you have this data, what are you going to do? You are going to analyze and see, okay, what is my average risk reward? What is my average win rate? What is my average losing streak? And what is my average winning streak? These 4 measurements alone already are super, super important. Now, what is the risk reward going to tell you? It's going to tell you what can you expect. What can you expect from a trade? What should you target? Win rate, okay, what is your average win rate going to be and what can you expect from that? If, for example, let's say the last 20 trades, you lost 15 out of them, meaning you have a 25% win rate. But if you have a high risk reward, let's say 1/5, you're highly profitable. Now, if you were not tracking any of these, you would not have known that because you would just see, okay, I'm losing 15 in a row. Something is going very, very wrong. That brings us to the next one, losing streak, right? If your max losing streak is 6, then losing 15 in a row is still not a good thing. By the way, this is a very extreme example. If you're losing 15 in a row, it's not a good thing, right? And it probably has nothing to do with your strategy, probably has to do everything with mentally, all right? Then winning streak. If this is, let's say, 3 or 4 on average, and in real life you just won 4 trades, you know, okay, the probability is probably higher that I'm gonna lose the next trade. So that's why I lost, for example. Having something to fall back to is super, super important because it will literally tell you everything you need to know to prove to yourself if you're a profitable trader or not. Now, let's say you have gathered this over 100, 200 trades, and it is showing you that you're not profitable, so that you're trading negatively, then you will have to change your strategy or the way that you are trading it until you are. Because as long as your data is not profitable, as long as your data is telling you that you're a losing trader, you will never become confident in trading. Let that be clear. Because you have nothing to be confident about. And if you're confident about a system that is losing, you're just straight up delusional. That's not confidence. That is delusionality. I don't even know if that's a word. But then you're straight up delusional. So create a good system. Prove to yourself that the system is good and then take it to the live markets. As soon as you start to feel unconfident, go back. Look back at your stats. Analyze, is this normal? Is this right here normal behavior or is it different from the median? Let's say your average losing streak is 5 and now you're on 7. It's not that big of a deal, okay? It's not like, okay, I need to change the whole strategy or whatever. No, you're just having a rough time, you're having a rough period. Remember that live markets, again, will always be different from demo and from backtesting. So just see that it falls within the median, that it falls somewhat within the lines, and it is not showing you crazy, crazy results. Now, the last one, we already talked about it, but it is proof. Now, having that data will give you the proof that you need in order to be confident about your system. Now, this proof, aka the data, I want you to go over this every single week if you are still unconfident in your strategy. I want you to analyze the trades. I want you to look at your winning and your losing trades. This is some homework for you guys. What I want you to do is I want you to make a success book, playbook, whatever you want to call it. But the success book is very nice. The success book basically contains all of your trades that are winners and that represent your strategy to a T. So where it is a textbook trade and it is a winning trade, this is your success book. Now, what you're going to do is that every time you feel unconfident or you're doubting yourself, go back to your success book and look how good you have been performing and how good that it works out. Okay? Now, I also want you to make a losing streak book. And what I want you to do is include trade 1 from the losing streak all the way up to the first trade that was profitable again. So let's say you have a 5 trades losing streak, include trade 1 all the way up to trade 6 where it was a winner again, trying to show you that losing streaks are not forever and that you can change the course just by having one winning trade. What I want you to note down is why was the 6th trade a winner? What did you do? So keeping it very simple, create a routine that is undeniable, create a routine that you can fall back to, and don't be the lazy trader jumping out of bed in their pajamas to the screen. Be the dedicated trader, coming prepared, being ready for the day by dressing like it and doing their analysis right before your session opens. Once your session is done, once you're done trading, you do your post-market routine, you go over the session and you annotate everything that happened. Then you're going to collect data every single day. All your live trades, perhaps your demo trades if you're demo trading, and also backtesting if you have not done this already for your strategy. This will give you an average of all the things listed right here, and it will give you something to work with. It will give you data to work with. To show you what that looks like, I will give you an example, right? This is FX Replay. This is one of my sessions that I had. It gives me my win rate over this amount of trades. It gives me my average risk to rewards, and it also gives me my losing streak. As you can see, it is 11. That's quite a bit. And it doesn't mean that the strategy sucks or that I did not execute it right. There could be a moment where I was just not executing it optimally, or the market was just going against me, not really the optimal environment to trade in. You could also see my max wins was also 8. You can see the days where you're performing best on and the ones that you might are better off cutting out. And you also see the months where you perform the best and the worst. Now, for me, August, for example, is historically a very bad month for me. It's always around break even or in a loss. I rarely make money in August for the last 8 years. So that tells me something about August that probably I better avoid it. And that is something that I'm going to do next year as well for sure. So collecting data, let's say I'm feeling unconfident. I can come back to this and I can see, okay, over this amount of trades, I'm doing a 50% win rate. And when I go to my dashboard, this is on my account, I've taken more than 1,000 trades. My win rate is over 41%. And I'm good. Because now real life that we're talking, I'm on a losing streak of 5 trades. But because I know my data, because I have something to fall back on, and because I have good systems and routines I do every single morning and every day after my trading session, I'm not worried. I know there's always going to be a better day. I know that sunshine comes after rain. And I'm good. And this is basically how I hacked my mind into becoming confident. This is literally how I became dangerously confident. And I basically never look back. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye, guys.